This here is a retouching desk and was used to retouch photographs in the late 1900s and early 2000s. It has different adjustments. With this little bar here, for example, you can move your glass negative up and down. And on the back you have a mirror to adjust the light reflection on your negative. This is really helpful, you will see later why. I was so happy that I was able to get one of these time machines for my own work. I often hear about the good old days when there was no Photoshop and retouching. If somebody tells you that, you may show them this video. Here's also a great website that I will link down below that shows and explains how they retouched images back then. Retouching was always here and will always be. This was shown at the Photo Arsenal in Vienna, the famous photographs of James Dean in the rain by Dennis Stock from Magnum. And this is a darkroom recipe for touching and burning the negative on the enlarger. There's a great article about it and I will link it down below. Today I want to try this the first time by myself. I want to retouch this portrait of Emily. It's from my series Emily Portraits of Hope. The story behind it is very touching and strong. I'll link to the video in the description where you can see the whole process how I created this negative. Now you can see how important it is that you can adjust the mirror. You can see here that I have some blemishes and this looks a bit like a developer burn. I don't want to retouch directly on the negative, that's why I will use a tracing paper that I glue on the glass plate with this gum that can be easily removed later again. As always, I will link all the tools I use down in the description, guys. I only put a drop on each corner and then I distribute it a bit with my finger to prepare it for the tracing paper. After the glue has dried, I just cut down the corners and start retouching. I'm really not sure how this will turn out because it's the first time I'm doing this, guys. To bring the retouched image on a paper, I will do a salt print. For that I walk you really quickly through how I create all the chemicals. First, the salt solution. For that I use some gelatin, let it soak in water for a bit, and then I heat it up until it is dissolved. When it is fully dissolved, I add ammonium chloride to it. After that I prepare the paper. I like to use the Hahnemühle Platinum Rag. I use removable sticky tape to mount it on the glass plate. And there I trace a glass plate of the same size with a pencil and coat it with the salt solution that we just made. Now it's time to let it dry, and in the meantime I create the silver solution. For that I just mix silver nitrate with distilled water. You have to be always very careful, wear safety goggles to protect your eyes and wear gloves so you don't get any stains on your hands. Just be sure you know what you're doing. After this is dissolved I make some fresh fixer and then we are ready to go. It's basically the same thing again. Now I coat the same paper I coated before with the salt solution with the silver solution. I let it sit for a while then, and to speed up the drying process I use a blow dryer. In the next step I just have to put the glass plate with the tracing paper into a copy frame and put the self-made paper on top of it. Now I let the sun do its work, and the really nice thing is you will see a little bit later that you can check the exposure in between. It looks pretty good already, but I think it needs more time in the sun. Here is a second plate of Daria without a tracing paper, that way you can see how much the sun turns the silver nitrate on the paper darker. For me this is always the most exciting part. to check if the exposure is right and see the final result of my wet plate coloring negative. Now the salt print is ready for its first wash before I start to gold tone it. While the first print is washing, I'll prepare the gold toner. As long as Emily is in the gold toner, I can finish up Daria. I think now it's ready for the first wash. I love how much detail you see in this print, it's really beautiful. After gold toning, I will do the fixing, and after the fixing there is a final longer wash for half an hour, and then I'm ready to show you the results. So here is the final result. From my point of view, I could have done a better job with retouching, but for the very first time I think it turned out really great. I love the detail. Here is the print of Daria. It's quite soft because we decided not to use a headrest for the collodion negative, but I think it looks pretty cool as well. I really love the detail of the print of Emily. It's so sharp and the tonal range is so rich compared to a normal tint type. The negative has such a big dynamic range. I love it. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Thanks a lot to my Patreon supporters, and as always, I'll be back, guys.